Welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is part probably 3 of Colin Thompson's colouring in book, and I've zoomed in because I'm on the page that's made of small pictures all morphing into one. So I've been in the chicken and the little bird, and I've been picking off the vegetables and the teapot, and then I kind of finished almost a section down here. So I thought I would go back up to this top corner here because there's a wagon train up there. Look. Oh, there is a horse. There's a horse and a wagon. It's going to be a bit awkward for me to get to, but I'll do that. And this is a live stream with live peoples, and this is ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. I'm working in my little book of paper palettes because you've got a lot more control with 3 riggers, a number 3, a number 1 and a number 1030, and that tends to give you enough scope to be able to get to any shape you want, because some are rather large and some are small. So I think we'll have a little brown horse there. So I'm going to flick through. I'm only working in the Derwent watercolour pencils because I like the paleness of it. I did a practice with one of the book pages and I didn't like the intense as much. So this particular book I'm trying to stick with the Derwent watercolour pencils, but there are 72 colours, so there's enough for me to go with. And I just need to be on that little horse up there. And I think we'll have, it's a copper beech. I'm looking for a bit of a chestnut colour, but the terracotta looks a bit chestnut. Or we could be boring and just go for a brown horse. We'll just have a brown horse. And this is probably a little bit too big, this brush. Because I do, oops, and having a hair at the bottom of it is not good. So I don't want to give too much colour, just a little bit of colour, because I do like these lovely pale colours. And again, there's one of these little creatures, so I need the fine paintbrush. And I'm using the flesh tone in here, which is number 16, because it's flesh pink. It's very pale. Oops, but it's perfect for doing these little pretend people. There's a little bird sat on there, so we're just going to give him a bit of colour. Now that looks like a photograph of holly. That looks like holly. And that's a terracotta pot, and I do like my terracotta pots. So I'm going to go to the terracotta pot. Now ideally I would like my book on its side. So I'm sorry if I make everybody dizzy, but I do like to have a natural stroking because that gives you the nicest effects. Having said that, this is all cracked, so perhaps I may not do that, but if I look at a number 64, which is there, that's the terracotta. And that is quite a wet brush, so if it's too wet I can just nip some water out. I don't really want all that water in there. And because under here is the darkest, I'm going to start under here and tease that colour out. And straight away I found another little man sitting under there. So kind of got a natural shade going under there. When I finish this, I'll give a bit of a flip of this book. I think I did a flip when I first bought it a while ago. So again, because that's going to be, sorry, but my if I just take that over there, that might give me a natural highlight there. Now these are Derwent watercolour pencils in my little book of colours. The peelers are too strong, I didn't like them. They go through the watercolours, so I'm sticking with Derwent watercolour pencils. Now there is a red brick for here. Again, that's dry now. This holly is very, very dark. It's either sap green or I think it's mineral green. It's a very, very bright green is this. So again, I don't have to faff about with this because it's a grayscale. Luckily for me, I can just tease that colour out. And I have actually got a bit of a highlight there, but I don't need it. I'm probably going to have to go for a smaller brush in a minute. And that cat wants to get in, I don't know why. So because it goes under here, I go to my number 1 rigger. And again, that's a bit too wet even for me, it's just nip a little bit out. And then I can just stroke that colour into those leaves. And there is a cat mowing in the background, I do apologise. And then I can tease the colour out of here. And because this is a quiet, peaceful way of working, I do tend to kind of be a bit quiet, so I apologise. So, I like that. There's two little people there, but I think I've actually covered them already. I'm not sure what that fluffy thing is. I'm hoping it's a tree, so we could get that mineral green. And we could really give that some green, and that will show off the flower. I can't remember what the stagecoach wagons, what colour they were. We need a bit of fawn colour. It's probably pine wood, isn't it? So we could do with a brown ochre. Probably, I don't know whether it's got something there, isn't it? No, you can see through the wheels. I'm just going to give that a little bit of colour, just a smidgen, just to say to get rid of that stark white, because I don't like that stark white. And that's about it. I can leave that now, it's done. It's just got a little bit of colour. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I'll just do a little bit more. Where are we now? Again, you keep having to pick little bits off. It's still not finished, that top corner. And I've missed, actually, under there, look. I thought I'd got it all. I've missed, and so that was mineral green, wasn't it? I missed these. Actually, I thought I'd done them, but I did, but I didn't obviously do them enough. I think because it's a thistle, not a thistle, a holly, it's got to be a little bit brighter. I think my colour might be out. Not sure what I'm going to do those. That's got to be water, and there's some books under there. I like the cabbage white. There's a garden gnome there, look, peeping out. So he can have a flesh-coloured face. And then they normally have white beards, and they have red. I'll give him a red shirt. And because this is grayscale, I don't really have to fuss if I don't want to. And I'll give him a matching hat. Because they all always have a matching hat, don't they, gnomes? Give him a matching. So he's got a bit of colour now. I think my colour's out. That looks like a ram's horn, doesn't it? So that would be kind of a straw colour, maybe. Just a bit of hint of colour to it. Again, just to get rid of that stark white. And we've done the bumblebees and the bee and the dragon grasshopper. There's a tree there, and I put some blue behind. I did actually do the sky, I remember. I think that's a compass, but I think they're white, so might just leave that. There's a little man there, so he can be flesh white. I thought I'd done him, but he's looking a bit peaky. So I'll just give him a little bit of a tint. And we've done the leek, we've done the flower, and we've done the poppy. So these look like little yellow daisies here, so I might just do these quite bright. Just got a spot of bother getting under here. Now there's a grey watering can here. The way to work through this book is you just have to pick off sections and do them in sections. So I really like the gunmetal. I can't find Thumper, otherwise I'll show a picture of Thumper. I do like these this blue-grey for this watering can. It just gives them a hint of colour, which is quite nice. Oopsie. It's a real peaceful, quiet way of working this. You've just got the smallest amount of water, a damp brush, paper palettes, no rattling of pens and pencils to get out. It's just really, really peaceful. You just flick the colour you want and you're away. And I really like that way of working. Oops. It's easy when you're not right on top of a camera, but whoopsie. So I quite like that. It's just a hint of colour. Not sure what that is. That looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Not quite sure what it's doing there. But this is one of those books that you just have to kind of go with the flow. These are going to be quite bright green. So I'm going for sap green. Sorry about the arm in the way. And it's a grayscale, so we can just touch and it will do it itself. This was a little bit of a big brush really, but never mind. And I'll do this one, and then when I come back down to this one, it should be naturally drier. I need a very tiny one. Oh, there's some more up here. Look, so I've got a bit of green left, so we'll use that. Just move the book very slightly. I hope I'm in frame. Can everybody see this? Oops. I need to swap to a smaller brush. Because I do like to make a good job of it because it's a nice book. So I can get into there now and give that some nice dark contrast. So if anyone's got any questions, I'll go through this. Oh, thank you, Suzanne. I keep trying to have a look, but you're just stroking a little bit of colour. And again, this grayscale is a little bit easier to work with because you can just go dead flat and it still gives you some nice highlights. Now that's a really tiny little house, is that? That's not me, that's the lurcher having a grumble. Having a grumble. So that is a real deary little house. So I think we're going to do that a raw sienna little wooden house. And then we'll have a really tiny little roof. Now they look like apples, so we're going to have cherry red. They've got to be apples, they can't be anything else. What size rigger? At the moment I'm using a 3-0. Because these spaces, I mean, that's my fingernail, those are really diddy spaces. I'll pan out in a second and show you what I'm doing. I just wanted to get this little bit done. Because I haven't worked in this book for a while, because I've got several books on the go. And there comes a point where you think you really need to start. So I'm just going to put a deep cadmium just in there, because we want him to be highlighted. And then I'm going to have to go over it with a bit of a darker colour as a contrast, because it's too yellow, is that? So give a bit of a brown. Sorry about the cat. The cat's annoying the dog. And all is good. And I just tease colour out. This is a little bit small, I have to say. A little bit of colour. My colour seems to be really out at the moment. I'm not impressed with the colour at all. Ah, that's better. That's a lot better. That's a lot better. I was beginning to think that I wasn't putting any colour on anything. It's slightly better. Slightly better. At least you can tell that I am actually putting colour on it. Yes, it's just a very faint thing on there. So, there's a horseshoe hanging there, which we can... Again, this book, you just go along, like the Curvy Roseanne, you just go along and pick things off as you see them, because that's really the only way you can work. And I'm going to do, I don't know why I've done it brass, but anyhow. I should have just done it gunmetal, shouldn't I? No idea what that is. I think it's an eggshell. But I have no idea what that is at all. So if anybody knows what that is, it's growing from the bonsai, but it looks like an egg. But it's got to have something to do with feathers. It will be an egg, because that's a feather. That's a feather, so that's got to be an egg, I think. That's a bit strange. So we want, that's a cacti, but I think I just got to do this leaf, because there is a leaf here that escaped me. And did we say it was mineral green? I did. Did I do mineral green? And I think this is sap green. It's also a good idea to try and get all your greens done at once. Alright, so that's done. I now need to do the green on the bonsai, so turn that over. So I've got 3 riggers. When it's a tiny job I use a 310, and when it's a medium job I use a number 1. Oopsie, sorry, bark alert. And then I've got a number 3, and these aren't really expensive riggers, they're just man-made. But that means that I can get into some tiny spaces, and yet when I needed a bigger brush I can get into that one. And for this one I need it quite damp. Sorry, bark alert. So I'm going to go to mineral green. I think I quite like mineral green. Do I like mineral green? Yeah, we'll have mineral green. Sorry, this is going to be... If he doesn't stop, I'll have to stop recording, because he just ruins everything. He's just a terror. Come here, Alfie. There's nothing to see, Alf. Good boy. Oh, you're not Alfie. Oh my. So there is somebody outside, but not calling to me, so I thought it was too good to be true. They'd all been really good. I thought they'd been really good. This is the moment they start. Now I think that's something different behind there, so so I'll stop at that particular moment because right, I don't want to make anybody dizzy. I'll just lift the camera up very carefully, hopefully, and tilt it into there, and I will do this. Which will show you the book, and then I'll just have to play with oh, do we think that's it? Do we think that's in focus? Can everybody see that? Does that look about in focus? It shouldn't be in theory, but so that's the book. So with everything I tell everybody to make a photocopy first. So that was my photocopy, and I had a play, and I've made this little book of colours, and I have the 72 Derwent watercolour pencils scratched into little squares, and that gives me at least 10 colours out of each pencil because I've got a lot of control on there. In fact, if I do this, it might help. Oopsie. Does that work? It doesn't want to focus for some reason. So that gives me quite a lot of colours. And so you've got a lot of control over there. There is the ink tense in there, but I found that just for this particular book, or the book pages were too bright. So I spent a couple of days doing this, and then I coloured the book. And I really liked the watercolour way. Sorry, that's the lurcher. So by working with a very dry rigger, you've got dampness here and colour at the end, and if you start at one side you can work across and you can get a lovely watercolour effect, but it's very dry so it doesn't buckle your pages, and you can even do it in a Bible page. And I really like working that way. I'm going to have to do something with this dog. They don't normally wake up for another half an hour. They're being naughty. So that was my first attempt, and again the quality of the paper is really good, but I didn't want to damage it, and I like working this. I take this book on a tray, a cushion tray, and I sit with this and flick the colours, and I have a water pot on a tissue. Now this tissue now is saturated, it's dripping with water, far too much in there. It wants to be a baby wipe, and you dunk it into there, and then you twist onto the wet baby wipe, so you've got a damp brush but it's not very wet, and that will pick up a small amount of colour. So when you start to move it, you are moving the darkest colour, and it's getting paler and paler and paler, so you can get some really lovely highlights, and it's still working very dry. So it's taken me about 3 years to master this and get the right paintbrushes as well. But this is watercolouring. This is colouring in with water, even on a Bible page. If I can find my little book. But you do get, and you can work anywhere. You can work with a tablespoon of water, so you don't. I'm going to have to do something with the dog in a moment. So that was the first play, and I managed to get some really nice, whoopsie, watercolour effects. And you don't do anything, you just tease colour out. You need one brush with one amount of paint. And that's why you want to photocopy first, because you need to know how much colour to put on your paintbrush. And if you use a photocopy first, then you get to do that. Again, lovely watercolour effects. But this is on very, very thin paper. I don't like the purple, and I don't like the pink, but I like the butterfly and I like the robin. And then my third attempt as this kind of watercolouring. So you're working very dry, but it gives some very, very pretty effects, and you're not ruining everything with water. So if you can do it on a page this thin, then you can do it in a colour book. Have you got any questions? It is an awesome book. I'll give you a quick flip. The paper is very good quality. You could work a lot wetter, but you know, I don't want to. I want to work like this. I want to sit there and I want to be calm and peaceful, and I want to chill out, and this is the way to work. I flick. Normally when I do other things, I just flick through the whole book and pick a colour. I like that yellow, I'll use the yellow. I like that blue, I'll use that blue. And I mix them. The reason I don't use the palest is that they do go through. So I found that for pale colours, to get a lovely watercolour effect, I love the 72 Derwent watercolour pencils. I mean, I do like these colours. These are the Inktense, but they're just too vibrant for what I wanted. I mean, I love that as a book. Oh, Piggles, shut up. Sorry, it's the lurch of being a Piggles. So I'll give you a quick flick of this book. So it's by Colin Thompson. She's not going to stop unless I throw something at her. I'll throw a tissue at her, and she's frightened. I threw a serviette at her. Doesn't like that. Got to be a bit careful what you do with her because she's a bit skittish. But so that's that's like the Escher. I hope that's not jumping. I hope it's not jumping, because I hate it when it kind of jumps up and down. It drives me insane. So the towers, that I was thinking about a dark background. I thought, oh, I can't do dark backgrounds. And then I put masking fluid on. This is watercolouring as well, but this is watercolouring with professional watercolours. So I am a bit of a pale girl, I have to say. But what I decided to do was use masking fluid over the spider, the web, and all those things to colour. So I've got the nice background, and I haven't had to faff about. But it did take me a long time to drawing everything. But it means I can do pale colours if I want. So I'm going to probably do a black background for that. I haven't decided yet. I do work in different books with different colours. The aviary is the one that I have, and I don't know if anybody else does this. The aviary, I dropped a clanger and I didn't like it. This is the Dr. Martens Hydrus. They are gorgeous. But again, using a damp brush, you go from light to dark. And you must have about 10 different colours in there. So I'm working it with different watercolour mediums in different books. The peelers are in here, and they look rather grotty, but that's pure colour. Now I have done them in my giveaway book. I didn't have anything for a giveaway when I got to 100 subscribers, and I do have it here somewhere. Where the little book's gone. It should be in front of me and it isn't. So the Ustream lady, Carol MT, won that one, and there's another one somewhere kicking about. And it has slightly more things in it. What did I do with it? So I'm playing with colours and putting the Neo Colour 2s in there. And the Ustream gremlin's been and devoured it. Yes, it's disappeared. Sorry about that. But I've been cutting. It's basically the same. But the peelers do look a lot better. Sorry, the peelers are in the front. The near coloured, the Hydrus look a lot better in the other little book. But of course, I can't put my hand on it. So this is going to look the same. It's completely disappeared. How strange. Has anybody got any questions? Sorry. Yes, I am recording. It's still recording. Yep, I'm going to go. But there is a lot of videos. Nearly all my videos I end up waffling about my little book. There's one called Revamped, which is a very early one. But there is a series. I've been doing a series of how to make the book and what I'm putting in it. When I think the first one I put the little. Oh, do excuse me. Goodness gracious. So this is the Colin Thompson one. I can't wait to do the doors. This I think is like the Escher, so things are upside down and backwards ways and things. You see things differently. I love this one. It's rooms made of books. This will be quite interesting. But I think they all lend themselves to... Oh, they all lend themselves to little sections. This is all musical instruments. This is all bone. I think I did a flip on one of these, but when Ustream catches it, YouTube catches it, it won't show this book. Just go away. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. Go away. Sunflowers. This is a gorgeous one with the butterflies and the little houses. And this is a dumper truck with houses in it, picking houses up. They're all fascinating. Just go away. I'm not speaking to you. This is the page I've been working on. And as it does take a little while, you've got to pick off certain things. But again, the sprouts I was doing this morning. And then the little brass. There is a highlight on some of these. On the leaf there's a highlight as well. And again, you start with that little tiny brush with the paint on it. And by the time you've gone to the top, it's got paler. Well, if I shake a bit, it doesn't like it. And the poppy was the same. You start with the dark and just keep going. And then we've got a balloon patches, and it is lovely quality paper as well. So it will take a nice watercolour. What I call watercolouring. This is a fun page, all things that I remember as a child. Calculators. Big telephones. Cassette tapes, and there's a cassette recorder somewhere. I think there's a cassette recorder. There's an old-fashioned shaver. There's the towers for the computer. And what else did I remember seeing? The old tills. It's got all sorts in it. This is all mechanical. And then we've got trees and things. Oh, this is another one that I'd started that I'd forgotten. There's a bear in a violin. How wonderful is that? The bear in the violin. That's just awesome. I love this book. And again, it's just a nice, quiet way of working. The acrylics and doing that, it's just too much. My hands don't want to do that. The main reason I designed this is for disabled people to just colour all day. And all you're doing is putting pressure on this little bendy bit of brush at the end. So you can do this all day and you're not moving far away. You're moving from there to here. So it's just a little movement. So you don't have to kind of reach over and move about too much. You can just do this. And because you're not holding a paintbrush like you would a pencil or a pen, you can colour all day. I can do 12 hours dead easy. My hand does not hurt. Now that is amazing, because I can't get the tops off these. I tried to get the tops off these this morning and I couldn't get the tops off. So it's dead easy for anybody who wants to continue all day. But this is a fun book. There's another book page which I can't wait to do. And other little sections, all little wooden sections. Oh, sorry, Kelly. Yeah, there's something about Ustream and YouTube. They're not happy bunnies at the moment. This is a nice one, but thanks for joining us. Thanks ever so much for popping in. Thank you. We do try. I think Emma might be on in a little while. Emma does Thursday afternoons in the UK time, American morning times. And but I just wanted to do another page of books. Look at that. Wow. And then this was a strange one, the mechanical chair and the other chair. And I've tried not to look more musical instruments. I love this one because there's a skull, but there's a cat coming down the stairs. How strange is that? See, I have no imagination. I can't come up with things like this. And then, of course, there's the famous one. Now, I've seen this twice. I try not to look at it because I want to colour it my own colours. And if you're inspired, it was originally, I got it as a book. I don't know where it is now. As a laptop cover. But there are jigsaws of the books. So it's Ravensburger where you get it from. Oh, come on, you know you want to focus. Behave yourself. So, it's a beautiful book, and the pages are really, really nice as well. But with my little 600 colours in there, there's not quite 600, unless you count this page. This page takes it well over 600. But my little water book, and you want 3 brushes, and you want a pot. And the wonderful thing about these hospital pots is sample pots. They're perfect for the rigger because they've got a wide top, but they don't leak for obvious reasons. So they make a perfect travel set. And I've just managed to get everything into a zippy bag. I've got other things in here as well at the moment. I don't know if I take my rotary pens with me as well. Oopsie, in there's, oh, I've got wires trailing. I've always got wires trailing. Because I move the camera a lot, so I've got to have the wires kind of about, if that makes sense. So I can put this in here and have a little one of those. The water pot goes in here, then that goes in there. Paintbrushes go in another bag, and this was from the pound shop. This zippy bag was from the pound shop, and so is this one. And yeah, I've got 2 colour books in there. I've got a lot of things in there. See? And I have my little Victorian, I don't know what it's for, but I use it for paintbrushes, but I think it could be for paintbrushes. It's too small for needles, but that goes in there as well. And then it zips up, and then if it rains, my colour books and everything are protected. And that's what I call one of the smallest watercolouring. And I've got 2 sketchbooks in here. This I take on the train with me. This is a small book. And these are ink tens. But if you use ink tens in paper palettes, you get so much control. You can get some beautiful pale colours out of them. So thank you for watching. I'm going to stop this video because I've kind of gone on a rabbit dropping trail. As I call it. But I do like my little cheapy bags, especially in England because it rains all the time. You're always getting caught out. So has anybody got any questions? Oh, you've got the same book. It's a fab, same bag. It's, yeah, they were in the pound shop, and I thought that was quite good. I think I've probably pushed too much in mine, because I actually managed to put my my Bible in there as well. So that kind of, in case I got bored with one thing, I could get on with something else. But as I say, I do like this way of working, and it's instantly dry, so if you forget and put your hand on something, then it's okay. And the little book is just making squares. The peerless came out there. There's peerless in there. 72 Derwent watercolours. And I've had the paintbrushes, the pencils out twice. They're in a lovely wooden box, but because I've got the colour books now, I have to say I've been revamping them more because I'm using them more. but I am using those exclusively. I haven't redone the ink 10 because I'm not using those as much. Because I use the Derwent watercolour pencils for the Bible journaling because they don't bleed through and they don't show through. And so I can have a lovely watercolour effect, and they will not show through at all. The ink 10s don't bleed through, but they show. And they even managed to show through the others as well. So there's some graphite pencils that are water-based, Derwent Graphitint, Neocolor 2s, Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s, Prismalow colours, and then some colours that were Caran d'Ache Italic, Faber-Castell crayons, watercolour crayons. Experimented with some pastels, but they're a bit messy. I wouldn't put those in. That's an experiment that didn't work. Kuretake Gansai watercolours, the 36 colours are in there, including the gold, for gold lettering in the Bible. It's the best gold paint you'll ever get. And then I think there's about 20 some of these Dr. Martens Hydras. They're in there as well, and then there's professional watercolours at the front. So there's quite a few colours in there to keep you going. I found, actually I tell a lie, the black one, I've got an A5, because the A5 fits, there's an A5 which will fit this and this in. So if I just want to pick, I can tick those with my paintbrushes and a water pot. So if I'm going to London, I will take this because I've got 2.5 hours on the train. So I can sit and do this. In fact, I did this on the train as well, even though it's quite fine. I did it on the train. So I can take this and still have my colours with me. But then if I'm going anywhere else, away for the weekend, then I will take this one. I used to take a suitcase. I used to take a thingy suitcase, a bag on wheels. I've tried everything, and I've now got a suitcase of things. But the beauty of this is that you can flick through it, and you can put your Derwent pencils with your ink 10s. So if you've got 72 ink 10s pencils out, that's 4 trays, and you've got 72 Derwent, sorry, 3 trays. Then that's 6 trays, just with 12 pages. You won't have any room for your Ganzi Tambay watercolours. Oh, there's Winsor Newton gouache. There's all sorts in here that I keep forgetting that I keep putting in. I've played in. The 45 or 48 full range of Peerless. They're gorgeous, but I wouldn't use them in the Bible pages, and I don't use them for colouring in. I use them for most other things, but not for colouring in books, because they go through, and I'd rather not. But I've kind of got a different way of working in each different book. This is my favourite way. This is my fave way. Do you mean this is Sketchy Stories, Kirby Roseanne. The sketchbook art of Kirby Roseanne. I did a video of this, and I had to paint through a magnifying glass. I've got 2 lamps, and they are magnifying lamps, because it's a little bit tiny. And I always forget this page. Where is it? I mean, look at this one. I mean, look at that. Is that going to focus? The Mona Lisa's there somewhere. There she is. You know, that is a tiny spaces. I did start one, as I say. I had to use a magnifying glass. So I have started certain sections of it. I always practice with the first, but that's Inktense. And that's Blue Lagoon, I think. That's the deepest purple that there is in the Inktense. And yet, if you use it with a paper palette, it's the most beautiful pale purple. It's all Inktense, is that. Just trying to find that. I never find it. Ah, I put a tag on it, look there. Oh, I've done these. I've forgotten about these. I've done these as well. These are all done on the train. This is a tiny one. But this is a lovely size. This is a nice size if you're just going away. But I found several advantages of being in a wheelchair, which is something that I would never thought I would. I'd always said I'd never wanted to go in one. When I used to go to hospital, I never ever got in a wheelchair. I staggered in because I did not want to go in one. You don't have any pain when you don't stand up. Brilliant. You can carry as many heavy things as you want because you can hang them off the back. Brilliant. So if I want to have a big bag of art supplies, I can do that now. That's fab. And you can also get your cushion tray to sit on the wheelchair arms, so you can colour forever. So it's quite good, actually. It's quite good. So I'm going to stop this video because I'm waffling on other things now, but I haven't heard of the Colin Thompson bringing out another book. I know Kirby Roseanne is bringing a new one out, but I've got this thing about books. It's my thing. All my artwork is books. I've probably drawn more books than he has, because that's my doodle. Apart from the flowers, that is my doodle. So I've kind of I did colour some of them in, but I do like black and white drawings mainly, so I didn't do that. Has anybody else got any questions? Oh, hi T, how are you? Hi Terry. The third Terry. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I was just having a waffle about my little book. Oopsie. This is my doodle with my books. I do ink drawings all the time of books. So that's my doodle. And it doesn't matter what size they are, I just set off, draw a shelf and I'm off. Just books. You want one of my books? Yeah, I'm gonna have to shake up Derwent, aren't I? I think I'll definitely have to shake up Derwent. I've got to paint. When I get my easel moved, I have an oil painting which is like that, and it's 5 foot by 5 foot, and I've got to finish it. It's been in the garage for ages. So that's my doodle. I have a Victorian bureau, and that was my lounge before I moved all the books. So we do have a lot of books. So I'm going to stop this video because I'm waffling about something else, and we should be talking about Colin Thompson book. Does anybody else know that he's bringing another one out, do we think? So thank you for watching.